Hello everyone and welcome back my dear students to the offline video series of biology of class 7. So from this video onwards we are going to study the five kingdom system which was introduced by a scientist named Robert Whittaker. Before we start with five kingdom system, let us revise few of the points what we have studied in our previous part of this lesson. So we have studied about classification. What do you mean by classification and what are the different advantages of classification? Classification is a method to study all the living organisms on the earth on a systematic manner. There are many different advantages of classification. If we study very few living organisms from a particular group or class, that means it will be easier for us to study all the living organisms of that particular class. It is very easy for us to understand and study the simple form and the complex form of a particular living organism with the help of classification. Up to here we have completed in the previous part. Now from here we are going to start with the five kingdom system. So there are total five kingdoms which were introduced by Robert Whittaker in new kingdom system. So the five kingdoms are Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae and Kingdom Animalia. So let us study about all of them one by one in detail. So the first kingdom of five kingdom system is Kingdom Monera, which includes microscopic unicellular organisms with a cell wall but no nucleus in it. They have a poorly developed nucleoid which contains the genetic material. The example for Kingdom Monera can be bacteria. Second kingdom is Kingdom Protista, which includes single cell organisms with a very well developed nucleus in it. The examples for Protista are Amoeba, Paramecium, Euglena, etc. The third kingdom is Kingdom Fungi. It includes mostly unicellular organisms. In this group of organisms is characterized by the absence of chlorophyll pigments in them. They cannot synthesize their own food and are dependent on dead and decaying matter for their food, and that is why they are called as saprophytes. The example for fungi can be mushroom. The next kingdom is Kingdom Plantae, which includes multicellular organisms with cellulose and cell wall and chlorophyll pigments present in their cells. They are autotrophs and conduct photosynthesis. The next kingdom is Kingdom Animalia, which includes all the multicellular organisms with heterotrophic mode of nutrition. They are dependent on plants and other animals for their food. They have the nervous system with sense organ unlike plants, and they can move from one place to other. Animals are classified into two groups, that is vertebrates and invertebrates, based on absence and presence of their backbone. Animals without backbone are known as invertebrates, while the animals with backbone are known as vertebrates. The last kingdom of five kingdom system is Kingdom Monera. In this kingdom, it mainly consists of bacteria. They are composed of single cell, but they are different from other unicellular organisms because in bacteria, nuclear material is not enclosed in a nuclear membrane. It is organized in a region called as nucleoid. Since nuclear membrane is absent, bacteria are also known as prokaryotes. Their cell wall is not made up of cellulose. Instead of cellulose, it is made up of some rigid structure. Many bacteria feed by the absorption of externally digested food, and that is why they are also known as heterotrophs. Let us have a look on the flowchart of classification of living organisms. Here is the flowchart of five kingdom classification, in which living organisms are classified as prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Further, Prokaryotes consist of kingdom Monera. The example for kingdom Monera is bacteria, while eukaryotes are further classified as unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular consists of kingdom Protista. Example for kingdom Protista are amoeba and euglena, while multicellular organisms are further classified into the organisms which has cell walls and which do not have cell walls. So the organisms which have cell walls are further classified as chlorophyll absent in them and chlorophyll present in them. Kingdom fungi consist under the organisms in which chlorophyll is absent, while kingdom plantae is consisted in the part where chlorophyll is present. Further, kingdom plantae is classified into cryptogams and phanerogams. Here, kingdom Animalia is further classified as invertebrates and vertebrates. Now, as we have studied that kingdom Monera mainly consists of bacteria. Bacteria are the unicellular living organisms in which the nuclear material is not packed into a nucleus. Bacteria are one of the very small unicellular structurally living organisms. These bacteria are classified into 4 main categories based on their shapes. So let us study about 4 different types of categories of bacteria classified based on their shapes. Based on the shape, there are 4 common forms of bacteria. First one is the coccus form. These bacteria are spherical in shape. Second is the bacillus form. These bacteria are rod shaped. These may also occur single or in the group of 2 or 3, joined end to end in the long chains. Third is spirillum form. These bacteria are spiral shaped. Fourth is Vibrio form. These are comma shaped. For example, Vibrio cholera. Let us have a look on the structure of a bacterium cell, how it looks like. Bacterium cell has the most primitive nucleus and bounded by nuclear material and has only chromatin material at the center. The outermost cell wall is made up of largely protein-like material. The cell wall is surrounded by a gelatinous and proteinaceous capsule. Nucleolus, mitochondria and plastids are absent. Reserved food in a bacterium cell is known as glycogen. There are many different types of bacteria which play a very important role in our day-to-day life. Let us study some more information about that useful bacteria. So the first use of bacteria is preparing the medicines. Many bacteria are used for preparing the medicines and vaccines for various diseases like polio, tuberculosis, smallpox, etc. Apart from that, some bacteria are used for preparing the medicines like streptomycin, which helps to cure many of the diseases in human beings. You might have heard the fermentation process of curdling of the milk. This process is carried out by a lactobacillus bacteria, which help to convert the milk into curd. Basically, it converts the sugar which is present into the milk in the lactic acid. Here are some more uses of bacteria. Certain bacteria like Acetobacter helps for fermentation of fruit juice and convert it into vinegar or acetic acid. Vinegar or acetic acid is used as food preservative. Certain bacteria are used in curing of animal hides and skin. Jute fibers are separated and are made softer by the use of bacteria. Cow dung, horse dung and agricultural waste are used to the bacterial action which causes their decay and produces very useful manure. There are many sewage plants in big cities like Delhi, where The collected human excreta is decomposed by bacteria. The inflammable gas which is produced by this process is used for cooking, and the liquid and the solid waste products of this process are used as manures. Let us study about some of the harmful bacteria. As we know very well, each and everything in the world has some of the positive effects as well as some of the negative effects. Same is the case with bacteria also. There are some of the useful bacteria. Already we have studied that. Here we are going to study about the harmful bacteria. So let us study about the bacteria which are harmful for us. Food items such as milk, meat, fish, vegetables get spoiled quickly because of presence of bacteria. Packaged food should not be consumed after their expiry date as it can infect by bacteria. Bacteria are responsible for a number of diseases, some of which are typhoid, TB, pneumonia, cholera, etc. Here is the table on the screen which gives you some information about some of the disease causing bacteria. Now we are going to study about the movement of amoeba, how locomotion and movement takes place in the body of amoeba. The organ of locomotion in an amoeba is pseudopodium. It is a finger-like projection formed temporarily by the extension of cytoplasm along with the cell membrane in the particular direction. Many plasmodium may be seen projecting out from the body of an amoeba at a time, but only one of them extends longer than the other towards the direction it wants to move in. So here is the diagram which shows you how the movement of amoeba by extending its pseudopodium takes place. Now we are going to study about how the amoeba feeds. When the amoeba senses food in its surrounding, it quickly puts out its pseudopodia and moves towards it. On reaching the food particle, it extends two of its pseudopodia and surrounds the food particle. The tip of two pseudopodia fuse together to form a small space with the food inside it. A food vacuole is formed and thus the cytoplasm secretes digestive juice into the food vacuole. This acts on the food and helps in breaking it down into the small soluble form. This soluble food is absorbed into the cytoplasm where it is stored and utilized for the growth and for releasing of energy. Let us study about the process of how amoeba excretes. Ammonia is the main waste product that is formed in the body of amoeba. It is eliminated from the body by a simple process of diffusion. Excess of water from the body of amoeba is collected into a contractile vacuole. Ammonia is soluble in water. Hence, sometimes ammonia is expelled out along with the water from the contractile vacuole. The contractile vacuole expands when there is water in it and shrinks when water is released into the surrounding. The nitrogenous waste are also given out directly through the surface of this cell.